Parents and carers, do you know what 21st century literacy is or why it is important for students to become 21st century literate? This video will provide a definition of 21st century literacy and illustrate how I can apply teaching strategies in a Year 8 classroom for my students and your children to become 21st century literate. So firstly, what does it mean to be literate? Literacy means more and has become broader than solely pen and paper. This narrow perception of literacy has more recently begun to reverse as technological advancements have brought about a new kind of learning, one that does not depend on just books and writing. To become 21st century literate, students need to become literate with a range of modes. Because of this, the theories of critical literacy and multi-literacies need to be considered for learning. So what are critical literacies and multi-literacies? Critical literacy has been defined as a learning to read and write as part of the process of becoming conscious of one's experience as historically constructed within specific power relations. Critical literacy is a timeless needed skill that means you are able to analyse and evaluate forms of text by critiquing the author or source and considering the bias that the source has. The term multiliteracies takes into account how literacy has been influenced by social, cultural, and technological change. A multiliteracies approach focuses on multiple modes of communication. A multiliteracies pedagogy therefore accepts and encourages a wide range of linguistic, cultural, communicative, and technological perspectives and tools being used to help students better prepare for a rapidly changing, globalised world. The importance of multiliteracies and critical literacies is shown in the Australian curriculum. As in the Australian curriculum, students become literate as they develop the knowledge, skills, and dispositions to interpret and use language confidently for learning and communicating in and out of school and for participating effectively in society. Literacy involves students listening to, reading, viewing, speaking, writing, and creating oral, print, visual, and digital texts, and using and modifying language for different purposes in a range of contexts. Altogether, 21st century literacy is the ability to identify, understand, interpret, create, communicate, and compute using printed, written, and visual materials associated with varying contexts. Literacy involves a continuum of learning to enable an individual to achieve his or her goals, to develop his or her knowledge and potential, and to participate fully in the wider society. So why is it important that students learn 21st century literacy? Much of what we regard as creativity happens as students move across modes, and so as students are increasingly being expected to represent learning in dynamic, multimodal text, there is a need to provide learning opportunities which overtly enable students to move across the multiple modes of text design and textual presentation so the creative possibilities are explored and enhanced. Students need to learn how to use multiple modes to enhance their creativity. Technology use has shifted the nature of communication as young people today interact with a diverse range of communicative spaces: interpersonal, virtual, digital, and textual. The use of multiliteracies in 21st century approaches can therefore promote connectedness and improve social lives. Critical literacy skills allow students to analyse, evaluate, and understand the meaning of different texts. This enables individuals to look at the world through a critical lens and challenge the power relations within the messages being communicated. 21st century literacy is therefore essential for creativity and problem solving, communicating with others, and understanding meaning in a globalised world. So how can we teach 21st century literacy? Students need 21st century literacy skills in and outside of school, so it is essential that they are transferable and also learnt in third spaces, outside of the classroom, including at home. The 4 resources model is a tool that can be used to guide 21st century learning in the classroom as it adopts elements of critical and multiliteracies. The model uses 4 practices. An example of the use of the 4 resources model to promote the learning of 21st century literacy skills includes students analysing a text chosen by the teacher, for example an online news article. The class could then be separated into 4 so each group can focus on a different practice of the 4 resources model and share their findings with the class. Students could then create their own news article on a chosen subject, using literacy skills illustrated in the original text. This can then be transferred to learning at home, as students can investigate topics analysed in the text at home and find other texts that relate to the text analysed in class. This ensures that students learn 21st century literacy skills both in and outside of the classroom. It is therefore essential that teachers, parents and carers work together to ensure students learn 21st century literacy skills, stay connected in a digitised world and learn creative and critical literacy skills.